There is no getting around the hard work. No getting around the hard work. Stop being afraid in your life. Choose the strong route and move forward. Pleasure seeking is ruining your life. GeneticXFitness.com. This is me and Gene. Take a minute to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that thumbs up. My fucking lips are dry. Arizona climate, baby. So look, pleasure. It is the ultimate temptation. I did a video called How to Master Lust for this time of year. So this is going to kind of follow up on some of the things that I talked about in mastering lust. Pleasure is a form of lust. And pleasure comes in many different forms. It takes on many different forms. You have food, comfort food. You have desserts, sweets, chocolate, ice cream, cakes, all the stuff that is so tempting, right? Then you have sex, bodily pleasure that we all kind of chase. So what exactly is the problem with constantly seeking pleasure? What's wrong with that? You know, life is short, right? Well, here's the thing. The consequences, when you hear about the consequences of pleasure chasing, you may be a little bit more, aware of some of the consequences. So let me put it to you this way. If you're forging a strong structure, whether that be physical, mental, spiritual, on my channel, we cover everything. I don't talk about one without talking about the other. So we're talking about forging the sword, okay? The sword, the symbol of the sword is a symbol of power. And the symbol of the sword is about cutting away the bullshit, being decisive in your life. The symbol of the sword is about being strong, tough, enduring, being able to cut away your enemies, being able to endure, right? So when you're forging a sword, if you look at any blacksmith, they forge a sword with an iron hammer, right? And fire. Now, what I want you to think about, so that this makes sense in your mind, is that the hammer is kind of the masculine energy of challenge. And the fire is the female energy of pleasure. Okay? Now, in order to get a strong sword, what you need to do is you need to hammer that motherfucker over and over and over again with your hammer. And that's the challenges of life. The challenges of life make us stronger. The challenges of life put us in situations where we have to adapt, where we have to be our best selves, where we have to put our best foot forward, when we have to persevere. We have to fight negativity and suffering and just the meandering, the making mistakes, failing, all these different things. That's that hammer of life, that challenge that all of us are missing nowadays. We have to almost put it into our lives ourselves, because society is trying to make everything easy because they want a feminized society. A feminized society is weak and easy to control. They want everybody dull, okay? So the fire, you need a little bit of pleasure every once in a while, right? It's one of the beauties of life. But if you have too much fire on your sword melts. You need some of that pleasure to be able to shape the sword, but too much of it, if you leave your sword in the fire, it's just going to melt and you lose shape completely. And that's what happens to a lot of people. They become soft as baby shit. Just soft and fucking weak and fleshy and pathetic, which is great for people that want to control us. It's great. That's why if you read Aldous Huxley in Brave New World, he talks about how a society that is obsessed with pleasure becomes ripe for tyranny, because everybody's just feeling so good. It's a drug that they take. I think it's called Soma. I haven't read the book in a while, but Soma, it's a drug that everybody takes that keeps them happy and complacent. It's a pleasure drug. And because of that, they don't notice that their society and their freedoms are literally being swept away under the rug. And nobody gives a shit. In Orwell, books are banned. In Brave New World, nobody fucking cares to read. So we have a little bit of both going on right now. Why is pleasure dangerous? Because again, if you're constantly chasing pleasure, you'll never get enough of it. It's that dopamine. Dopamine, a lot of people think dopamine has to do with willpower, and it does. But more than anything, dopamine is linked to seeking out, seeking things. And seeking pleasure spikes your dopamine in many different ways. People smoke cigarettes, people drink alcohol. There's all these different things that we do. Even just sitting on the couch and just watching TV for a couple hours is seeking pleasure. You're seeking a sort of escape, right? That will dull your sword. If you're trying to get stronger, if you're trying to improve your life, if you're trying to get more fit, more money, better business, everything, if you just want to get better, it's about sharpening the sword. It's about that hammer over and over and over. Every once in a while, a little bit of heat, right? A little bit of heat. But be aware of it. That heat has consequences. If you like this video and you know someone who needs to hear this message, send them a link to the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.